Ghent city centre in Ghent, Belgium. Ghent may not be the first city that comes to mind when you think about traveling to Europe, and that may be one of the top reasons to go. Without the mass of tourists that can overwhelm some gorgeous cities, Ghent, Belgium, is a place where you can see the sights, wander the streets, and hang out with the locals without competing for space or being turned off by tourist touts. Traveling to Ghent almost feels like discovering a secret. Its stunning Gothic buildings are mixed in with street art, waterfront cafes, and even a castle. There are enough fun things to do in Ghent to occupy a whole weekend, if not longer. This beautiful city is one of our favorite recent discoveries, and we can't stop singing its praises. Things to do in Ghent. For the best view in Ghent, head up the Belfry Bell. It's not often in Europe that you find a 14th century bell tower where you can take an elevator instead of trudging up 300 plus stairs. When that happens, take advantage of it. The 300-foot-high Belfry of Ghent is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the top things to see when you visit Ghent. Finished in 1380, it was the primary watchtower for the medieval city, and its carillon announced the time and gave warnings. On the way up, there's an exhibit about the Belfry's famous dragon Weathervane, which has guarded the site since the tower was built. There are 2 previous incarnations of him in various states of completeness. You'll also see the giant bell called Roland and a huge rotating drum that looks like the inner workings of a music box, which is responsible for the music of the carillon. But the real attraction is the view. It's one of my favorite places in Ghent. The Belfry is the middle of Ghent's 3 towers, so it provides a great view of St. Nicholas Church and the old centre of Ghent on one side and St. Pavos on the other. If you're interested in getting a nice photo of St. Nicholas as in our photo above, arrive mid-morning when the sun will be behind you, and hopefully not casting too many shadows. Visit the Castle of the Counts. One of the top Ghent attractions is right in the city centre. The 12th century Castle of the Counts, Gravenstein, is impossible to miss. With the moat and turrets, the imposing structure looms over the Lys River. From 1180 until 1353, the castle was the residence of the Counts of Flanders and heavily intertwined in the political happenings of Ghent. It was built by Count Philip of Alsace on the site of an earlier fortification. With its battlements and arms, it was meant to show his strength in the face of frequent challenges from Ghent's upper class. After the Counts left, the castle in Ghent was used as a court and a prison and ultimately became a cotton mill, gradually falling into disrepair. After an extensive restoration, the Castle of the Counts sports a unique collection of torture equipment and the odd suit of armor, though furnishings are generally sparse. A 45-minute audio guide provides a little bit more context to the rooms and the castle's story but is much more entertainment than historical information. It's voiced by a Belgian comedian. The gatehouse, ramparts, keep, and stables are open to visitors. Like the Belfry, the Castle of the Counts provides spectacular views from the top. Sample the Holy Food Market. First a church and then a library, the 16th century Bodilo Chapel is now one of the coolest places to eat in Ghent. When we read that it was inspired by some of our favorite food halls in Rotterdam and the markets of Copenhagen, we knew we would love it before we even set foot inside. The vaulted ceilings and bright windows where the stained glass used to be leave no doubt about the original purpose of the Holy Food Market space. But now there's a bar right in the center. And somehow it all works perfectly in this temple of gastronomy. There is a wide variety for food to choose from. About a dozen stalls offer cuisine from all over the world. You can opt for sushi from Komatsu, Italian specialties from El Arosticino, or Portuguese tapas from Taberna Lisboa. There is also seafood, Indian, and several vegan options, too. If ice cream is your passion, stop by the Magnum Pleasure store to customize your own creation. See an artistic treasure at St. Vitus Cathedral. There has been a religious building on the site of St. Vitus Cathedral for over 1,000 years. The current Gothic cathedral, complete with its 290-foot-high bell tower, is one of the most popular Ghent tourist attractions. The cathedral itself is magnificent. With 4 grand organs, a Baroque high altar, a painting by Peter Paul Rubens, and a pulpit made with marble and gilded wood, the cathedral offers lots to see. But the real reason people flock to St. Pavos is the Ghent altarpiece, which you're not allowed to photograph. Officially titled the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb, the Ghent altarpiece is considered the first Renaissance masterpiece and one of the best artworks in Belgium. The 20-paneled work was completed in 1432 by the Van Eyck brothers and is one of the earliest known oil paintings. The painting has been stolen, traded, and nearly destroyed by the likes of Austrian Emperor Joseph II, Napoleon, and Hitler. Given its age and its troubled history, it's a miracle that the painting survives at all. Recent restoration work has cleaned the painting and removed earlier fixes. The colors now are spectacular. It looks like it was painted last week rather than 600 years ago. Seeing the altarpiece requires a ticket, which comes with a detailed audio guide. St. Pavos is otherwise free to enter. Every day from 12 to 1 p.m., the panels are folded inward, displaying the work on the outside. Lines can be long for this popular site, so if it's on your list of places to visit in Ghent, going early or late in the day is usually better for avoiding crowds. Hop on a canal cruise. Don't miss out on seeing Ghent from the water. There are several options, but the one we took leaves from just in front of the Ghent Marriott. In several different languages, the captain provides a guided tour and a deeper look at the history of Ghent and its beautiful buildings. A canal cruise is the perfect opportunity to rest your feet and learn a little bit at the same time. Take a street art walk. Street art is one of our favorite things to discover in a city, and Ghent city centre has a vibrant street art culture. Throughout the city, there are large murals by well-known artists as well as smaller works by up-and-comers. There is no shortage of legal canvases for artists to show their stuff, and Ghent celebrates their contributions to the city's art scene. One stop on the must-do list for many visitors is Waterfront, now known to most as Graffiti Alley. The pedestrian street in the centre of Ghent is a mixture of work. Started during the Ghent festivities in 1995, the project is never the same from one week to the next, with new tags and designs appearing all the time. Elsewhere in the city are alleys filled with cartoon characters, bright blue bandits on the sides of buildings, and all kinds of otherworldly creatures. Acclaimed artist and Ghent native Roa has contributed works featuring his large-scale animals. To discover Ghent's street art on your own, follow the downloadable guide from Sorry, Not Sorry, or pick up a map at the tourism office that marks many of the sites. Visit Butcher's Hall. Originally a covered market, the Butcher's Hall on Ghent Mart Square dates back to the 15th century. Its impressive wooden vault was built entirely without nails, and those rafters now support traditional drying Ganda ham, a local specialty. With a nod to its roots, the Butcher's Hall is the best place for finding authentic East Flemish food in Ghent. This is no small feat considering that there are more than 175 traditional regional culinary products, and the Butcher's Hall has them all. In addition to the ham, you'll find delicious Tyrrentine mustard, bradel bacon, numerous local beers, cheeses, and cheese croquettes, and so many other tasty things. The products at the Butcher's Hall can be bought individually or put together in a gift pack, and many are suitably wrapped to get through customs if you want to take them home. To try the food in the moment, check out the on-site restaurant. Try the frites. You can't go a day in Belgium without enjoying frites, or at least you shouldn't. Calories don't count on vacation, right. The best frites stand we found in Ghent is just outside the butcher's hall. In fact, right up against it in a red alcove. You would almost walk right past it if not for the line of people. The no-frills counter serves great fries with a variety of sauces. Try them with traditional mayonnaise, our favorite curry sauce, or whatever floats your boat. Escargots and croquettes are popular here, too, for just a few euro. Stop by St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas Church is one of the most prominent Ghent landmarks. Built beginning in the 13th century, it was constructed primarily in the Celt Gothic style using blue stone from the Tournai area. With turrets on either side and a central tower, St. Nicholas is easily one of the prettiest places to see in Ghent. With its position near the Belfry and St. Pavos, it becomes the third of the three towers that the city is known for. If you begin to cross St. Michael's Bridge next to the Coran Mart and then turn around, you'll be provided with a fabulous view of these historic buildings. The inside of the church is fairly typical of historic Belgian churches, but it can't hold a candle to St. Pavos. Few places can. It's worth a quick visit to the interior because visiting the church is free, but we found the outside to be the highlight. Wander around Varaha Mart Square. One of the oldest and largest squares in the city of Ghent, Varaha Mart Square gets its name from the weekly market held here. Each Friday and Saturday, the square fills with vendors selling local delicacies, clothes, and household items. A statue of the prominent 14th-century businessman Jacob van Artevelde overlooks it all. Around the square is the Ons Huis, House of the People, the headquarters for the region's socialist movement, and lots of places to eat and drink, some with outdoor patios. If you missed the frites stand by the butcher's hall, there's another great option here: Friteur Joseph Fry Wagon. Directly behind the Van Artevelde statue is Straat, home to lots of vintage shops. We liked it most for its string of colorful buildings with ornate gables and balconies. Hand over your shoe for a beer. Dol Griot is one of the top bars in Ghent for beer lovers. With over 500 beers on the menu, it's hard to imagine anything this pub doesn't have. Named after Ghent's massive cannon now just around the corner, Beer Café Dol Griot has a cozy medieval interior with wagon wheels, beer barrels, and lots of throwback beer advertisements. There are many great beers to try here, but the Max is the reason this place is well known. Max beer comes in a giant, specially made glass, complete with a wooden stand to keep it upright. Visitors have loved the glass so much, they've tried to take them home, although they're so large, that seems difficult. Dol Griot has come up with an easy solution: get a beer, give your shoe. When a customer gets their Max beer, the server rings and bell and a basket is lowered from the ceiling. The shoe goes in, and the basket gets hoisted right back up. You get your shoe back when you're finished. It's possibly the most unique kind of insurance we've seen, but it's all in good fun. Try a Cubertin. If you've never heard of a Cubertin, you're not alone. This deep purple sugar cone is Ghent's signature candy. Don't leave the city without trying one. There are two different theories about the candy's origins. One is that it was created in Bruges by a member of the clergy, hence, the cleric's cap. The other is that it was developed by accident when a pharmacist found cough syrup that hardened on the outside but was still liquid in the middle. Luckily, there's nothing medicinal about this treat. The easiest place to be guaranteed of getting a Cubertin is at the Granten Mart adjacent to the butcher's hall. There, you'll find two carts historic rivals for your business piled high with colorful cone-shaped candies. Cubertins have a thick sugary shell with a filling of the same flavor. The purple ones, which are most traditional, are raspberry flavored. There's also apple, strawberry, lemon, and blueberry. At the time of our visit, we got a mixed big for €5, which is the easiest way to try all the varieties. Browse Korenmarkt Square. The Korenmarkt is as close as Ghent comes to having a main square, more because of its location near several main sites than because of its size. On the corner is the former post office, which is now shops in a hotel called 1898 The Post. There's also the beautiful St. Nicholas Church with its blue stone. The square is surrounded with several historic buildings, which are now bars and restaurants that have patio seating. In nice weather, the Korenmarkt is like one giant outdoor cafe. Pause a minute to have a coffee and do a bit of shopping. The Korenmarkt is also the ideal place for a little people watching. Stroll the quays. The quays of the Lys River are lovely places to spend some time. Korenlee, Wheat Market, on the left bank, and Grazely, Grass Market, just across the water on the right bank, have historic buildings and a high concentration of outdoor cafes. The sites date back to the 5th century, when Ghent was the centre of the wheat trade in the county of Flanders. Most of the current buildings were built in the Middle Ages, although they have been restored and modified over the centuries. We're suckers for this kind of architecture, so walking along the banks is pretty dreamy. Some of the buildings have been turned into restaurants and cafes. In decent weather, their outdoor patios fill with people enjoying the sun by the waterside with a Belgian beer, or two, in hand. The quays are a great place to sit and enjoy life. Like us and join us at Extreme Collections for more fun and knowledge.